Hey everyone, we are here. We're excited to be with you today. A Frisch Perspective Live with the Layman Apologist and our guest Tim Nichols from a Nicholsworth Bible Reviews. And this time we worked that out ahead of time. Last time we had you on, Nichols, you just jumped on last second, but we actually planned for you to come on today. So good to have you here. How you doing?
Hey, it's great to be here.
Yeah. And I noticed in the comments, everybody's giving their colloquial greetings depending on where they're from. So Nichols actually wrote in there, howdy y'all, over there in Tennessee. And I'm up in New England, so we just say hi. Very boring greeting. Actually, a lot of people don't even say anything to each other, you know. Maybe a head nod or something like that.
Say
You
it's
don't know the
typically
person.
a nod here.
Yeah. You don't say top of the morning?
No, we do not.
We had a conversation about this just a few minutes ago about how that's not really something you ever hear in Ireland. Yeah.
Definitely not.
What would be the phrase that you would say to a friend?
What's
So
up?
if you just say, "What's up?" Okay.
Yeah, just what's up.
Okay. What's up?
Or
Sounds
what's
very
what's
Irish.
the crack's probably more Northern Irish.
Okay. Say that again.
What's the crack?
What's the crack? Yeah, if you say that here, it does tend to have a different
different type
connotation.
of crack, but yeah.
Yeah, but here there's only one.
Not among your Irish communities, trust me.
Yeah,
I was just
crack.
liking Nichols. Yeah, it's spelled differently. Yeah. I'm going to, in a little bit, show something from our VBS because I don't know if you can all see it here. I might have to just put myself on full screen for a second.
Move your mic.
Yeah, sorry. All right. Anyway, that was just to show you that we have. There we go. We have a VBS that has an Irish theme this year, which I'm really getting a kick out of because, of course, Layman here is from Ireland. So I'm going to be showing him some of the materials from our VBS to get his reaction to it, because one of the posters they have is like a list of phrases that are Irish that supposedly Irish people know and use. They may be very accurate,
We'll
or
see.
they may not be accurate at all. We'll find out.
We shall see.
But crack is accurate. Yeah.
Crack means something different here.
Mm-hmm. Here it just means it's a variety of things. It means what's the news, what's happening, what's the banter.
Oh, and someone asked what VBS is. That's Vacation Bible School. And it is a very common program that is run during the summertime at churches here in the United States. Maybe you have something like that and just call it something different, but it's a children's program that usually runs for a week, and it's just a way to bring children to the church, and they will usually invite their friends, and then every day there's activities and Bible teaching and and evangelistic messages so that they can hear the gospel.
Tony would have the same. It's just called Holiday Bible Club over here.
Well, you know, if we called it that, then they would think it's like something to do with Christmas. I mean, holidays, or maybe the 4th of July this time of year. Holiday always means like a special day of commemoration here.
Yeah, and I think the 4th of July is probably Tony Parkinson's favorite holiday.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, he
Well,
loves it.
He's over there in England, and we just want to give a shout out and acknowledgement and congratulations to England in their victory today in soccer.
Speak for yourself.
Oh, okay. I will Well, I guess Nichols and I are okay with congratulating them. Ireland didn't do well. Is that what I heard?
Oh, the Irish never do well. Like we didn't even enter. But like I'm not a football guy anyway, so like it would be the least of my worries. It's just be a cold day in hell before I wish England well.
Oh man,
That's intense.
Don't worry, Tony and I banter with each other.
Yes, and you were telling me that your humor there can be a little bit.
Irish humor is always dark. It's sarcastic and it's dark.
The Irish didn't even qualify.
Never do. Well, I'm not saying we never do, but like the Irish are not great at football. Like they tend to focus more on Gaelic. But even then, the Irish don't do well with football in general.
You know, it's funny, and oops, I didn't mean to put that up there. I wasn't trying to rub it in. Sorry about that. I meant to put this one up. You said we keep celebrating Canada. And I was just in Canada, and I noticed a lot of stuff about the World Cup up there. And I have a correction to make. I said last time that I don't think in America the World Cup is like a huge thing. I mean, it really is actually. What I said actually is soccer or your football is not as big as other sports, but actually it's one of the most popular sports statistically speaking. Mm-hmm. Even in the U.S. So, do you have that experience, Nichols? Like, do you see a lot of soccer fans?
We have like kids leagues and stuff, but there's nothing really. I mean, we just don't care.
Okay, but what about other sports?
Oh, like our football, like American football. Yeah, that's the real deal right there. That's the most popular sport in probably America. Yeah. College and even NFL is extremely popular.
Oh yeah, the Titans.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Do you like the Titans?
Do I like the Titans?
Yeah.
No, I don't care at all. I don't care at all about the NFL.
Oh, okay. How about college?
College, University of Louisville. Go Cards. L's up, baby.
Okay. All right. Now we're losing our we're losing our European audience right now. We had them with us when we were doing the World Cup. All right. Well, we're happy to celebrate all that. We're about to hit our 250th celebration for the birth of America, so we're very excited and patriotic here this time of year. I did see something about 4th of July from Tony there. Okay. He said, reply to 4th of July. You say 1776. We say 1812. After all, it's not the regular season that counts. It's the playoffs.
They lost the War of 1812 too.
Oh, no. I'm not sure what's being referred to.
Hey, look who's finally back.
Look who's back. We haven't seen you in a while there.
Oh,
and now I'm
happy
revealing
birthday,
I'm
Frisch.
revealing my
to
birthday. Yes, thank you. Thank you.
Birthday. I think this
brother.
I think this
Thank you.
requires a burstitude of songotry.
You're on your own with that one, brother.
Everyone together now. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Comments.
Happy birthday, dear Frisch. Happy birthday to you. Yes, that just happened live.
What's great is I can clip that now. What a great short that'll be to just.
And I spared the audience's ears from me singing, so happy birthday.
That was good of you.
So how old are you?
47.
47.
Yep.
I'm the old guy on here.
Yeah, you are. You've already got the next decade. Yeah.
Yep.
It's good. And and then our young guy there in the middle. Our millennial.
Yeah, this child.
The child. Speaking of the millennial, we're going to get his reactions now to these Irish phrases. So here's what they have for our Vacation Bible School, or for you guys, Holiday Bible School, or whatever holiday thing you called it over in Europe. So Irish lingo. They do have crack there. They do have it, right? Can you see?
Sorry, can you hear me now? My mic, for some reason, cut off.
Oh, yeah, I can hear you now. Yep.
Okay, good.
So it looks like that's crack right there. CRIAC. Yeah. You can't see it, can you?
They've spelt that wrong.
Oh, it should be CRAIC. We're not off to a good start. This is from Answers in Genesis, so I don't know. I don't know where their writers were actually from.
That might just be a typo because everything else looks like it's spelled right.
Okay. So just give us a rundown. Like, are any that stand out to you that are like, oh yeah, that definitely we use?
Well, the
no,
top
we never
one,
use that.
The top one, okay. I have got no clue what that is. Don't even know what that's trying to say. So really, no idea where that came from. To be honest,
is anyone else from Ireland? Anyone else in the comments that could maybe?
You, even if there was, they back me up. That is not Irish. That's not Ulster Scots. That's not even Hyperno English. Now, knackered is true. Knackered means just you're beat, you're dead tired.
Okay.
What's the story? That's a little bit too polite over here. We would honestly just say what's up or what's the crack.
Okay.
Go on. Yeah. Don't know if that would be so much as encouragement. It says encouragement to go on, so yeah, that's fine. Minerals, I told you that before. Like a lot of people would call this a mineral.
Yeah,
even though it's
minerals.
Not. Yeah.
No,
Yonks
definitely
is
not.
right. Banjaxed, something that doesn't work or is broken. Mankey is disgusting, and up to 90. It's probably less common used. The more common phrase you would hear is the crack is 90, which means like the fun is really good.
What about Codnia?
Oh yeah, I missed that one. Yeah, again, it's used, but it's not very common. Like you wouldn't hear too many people just say, "Oh, I'm codding you." They'd probably just say, "I'm yanking your leg."
Okay, well, I got to be honest. I thought that there was potential that you'd look at this and you'd be like, this is not super accurate. But it sounds like you maybe give it a B.
I would say I would give it an A minus actually, because the only one minus the spelling of crack, which is probably
spelling.
Just
if we could get the spelling of crack, right,
that's probably just a typo. But honestly, the first one, I don't even know what they're even trying to say.
So
well, we definitely spell crack differently here, right, Nichols?
Yeah. Yes. And so question for layman apologists, what does I'm fixin' to mean? I'm going to give you a Kentuckyism. I'm fixin' to.
Yeah, well, we would use that over here. It means you're about to do something.
Oh, that's not fair.
Yeah.
That was supposed to stump you.
No, because one of the things we have talked about before is we have noticed over here a lot of Irish sayings we have. A lot of you guys seem to have down in and around the south as well. So there seems to be like a blend of culture sometimes.
Yeah.
Because one of the things, I think I shared this last time when I was on with him. I think it was last week. English over here, we have like a thing called Hyperno English, where we sort of like translate directly in the Irish in our head into the English. So we would often say the phrase like, I'm after going to the shops, which in English wouldn't really make sense, because like, what do you mean you're after going? We just mean we've been from the shops, like I'm after coming back, or, I've came from the shops. We have different phrases like that comes directly from the Irish. Oh, pardon me.
Now, someone, and I can't find the comment now, but someone said that they don't call it minerals in England. I think it was Tony. He said they call it pop. Mm-hmm. But it's funny because in Canada, I was just in Canada recently, and they were calling it pop up there, which surprised me. What do you guys call it out there in Tennessee? What do you call soda?
In Tennessee?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm in Kentucky, so...
oh, sorry about that. Why do I keep saying Tennessee? I'm sorry, Kentucky guy.
Yeah. So we usually... There's a couple of ways to address it. If you're from the southern part of Kentucky, everything's Coke. It's like, give me a Coke. Coke is like a generic form of any kind of soda. I personally call it soda, or I call it by its name. But but a lot of people say, "Hey, give me a Coke," and then it's like you get them a Coke, and they're like, "No, no, 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 I wanted a Pepsi or whatever." So they'll
or a
verify
Sprite,
which type of Coke they want. But
Yep.
pop is another common phrase for it here.
Yeah. And when you said Coke, that made me think of like I've heard that's true in Texas. So maybe you're like on that line there in
We are
Kentucky,
definitely
where
we are
like
definitely like a hybrid of North and South altogether.
That's cool. Yeah. That's why you call it soda, which is what I do.
Mm-hmm.
That's very northern of you, Nichols.
Yeah. Yep, I call it soda.
One more Irish poster that I wanted to run by Layman here.
Oh boy,
it's just part of it. It's this one actually is just like a map of Ireland. I'm just curious if these are like things you would highlight yourself, or is it just kind of stereotyping or something? It's not really anything unusual. It's just they have sheep farm. I'm actually having a hard time reading. Oh, there's a mountain, something mountain in the higher lands
Flemish.
Antrim. Yeah.
Yeah. That's my old homelands.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that's you.
I was going to say there's nothing on there that's not really. They're just kind of giving a rough rundown of like what would be in each county, but even then it's so generic that I couldn't really say it's wrong.
So it's pretty good.
Yeah.
I think the only other thing I could run by you is a song. And it's funny because this song here, you're going to laugh at this because you're not going to probably like the title of the, let's see here if I can get it up. The title that they have here, because we've already gone over this, that this is not accurate, but they called it Top of the Morning Tunes.
Oh boy.
So, all right, you ready?
He already looks offended. You haven't even started yet.
The Lord himself. I thought the music for this has been really good. I'm just going to put that out there. I don't know if it stylistically is really Irish, but I like it.
Sounds great so far.
What to do or where I should go. I know that God's word is true. The Lord himself will guide me. When my heart is full of fear and I am afraid, I can rest. God's word is clear. The Lord himself is with me.
I actually haven't heard them sing that particular one at VBS, I will say. So I think there's other ones that actually do sound more Irish to my ear. Mm-hmm. But I just thought you'd appreciate the name of the album.
Oh, yeah. Fantastic.
Because you guys use that phrase all the time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The song itself, from what I've heard, is not actually bad. I would just say I'm glad you clarified there's ones you think would sound more Irish, because that doesn't really sound Irish. If you want something to sound Irish, you need to include our pipes in it. If you include our pipes, it will instantly make any Irish person be like, yeah, that's Irish.
All right. Well, I've been fooling around a lot here, and I feel like Nichols is here to talk about very serious stuff. And you've been talking about
Mormonism, Patrick. I love it, Tony.
I like how he references that.
Did not teach, by the way.
Well, obviously, it was Donald and Connell that taught it.
Well, they rebuked it, so.
Oh yeah, he didn't teach modalism. You're right. He never taught it. Well, he was trying initially to give them the classic creedal definition, but they asked for an analogy, which was setting him up for failure.
Yeah. Anytime someone asks you for an analogy of the Trinity, just no.
Don't even go there.
Don't do it. You're just walking yourself into heresy. Trust me.
Mm-hmm.
So you approve of that message in that video. Yep. I mean, he did write a book. I think a lot of people know this, but Layman wrote a book recently on the Trinity. I'll try to get a picture up later.
Yeah, we're now in the top 1,000 books in church history on Amazon, so we're slowly climbing.
Oh, I'm sorry. I've got to show one more goofy thing here, but it's about VBS. This is not Irish, though. This is not Irish, but this was a Babylon Bee that I happened to see, which, VBS, Vacation Bible School, is a big thing this time of year, so that's where they come up with this. But they did a post about, I'll just show it here, local church under fire for Book of Judges VBS theme. Actually, some of those pictures are really a bit graphic, so I apologize, but I mean, the Book of Judges is graphic. Yeah, they've got Ehud, they've got Jael with the tent peg there, they've got Gideon, Samson, and the Levite's concubine. So yeah.
Wow.
I hope that's not giving any publishers ideas.
Make it.
Yeah, Lifeway is already stealing this image.
We got to get someone from Lifeway on, see what they think, pitch the idea. All right. So anyway, I was going to ask you, Nichols, about just one topic I wanted to bring up that you have talked about on your channel recently is Bible translation. And you actually kind of gave a little bit of a defense of the CSB, isn't that right?
I did.
One of your videos?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Matthew Everhard called it a ghetto, and I was just like, "What in the world?" So yeah,
Ouch.
I had to throw my 5 cents in there.
Your Nichols. I think you gave more than a nickel on that video, right?
Yeah, I tend to do that now. I've gotten rid of the 5-minute limit thing. I did that a long time ago. When you don't know anything, 5 minutes is easy.
It's inflation.
But once you exactly, yeah. It's the port fees and all of that. Yeah.
Well, the topics you're covering it's when you're doing Bible reviews, the idea was you just want to give someone a quick, overview and allow them to be able to see a short review. And you're very good at communicating a lot of information very fast. So that really fits what you are capable of doing. And like you've talked about before, it's not something you see on other channels. But with your other content, it's not about being fast. It's about being informative and really getting into those topics a little bit deeper, right?
Right. And at first, that's all I had to do on my channel was Bible reviews because I didn't have any other goal. It was just, reviewing different Bibles. But over time, as I started gaining more experience with because, I was like, go to Lifeway or whatever Christian bookstore was open at the time. Yes, for those dinosaurs that remember when there were actually Christian bookstores. And I would pick one up that was on sale. And I didn't consider references, notes, or anything. All of this I learned as a reviewer. So, the audience has been with me from the beginning, has really watched me grow into this role and learn about more and more translations. And this has been a 6-year process, 8 if you count my time with Jake Robinson with PT&J. And
that's where I first found you.
Yeah. And that's, kind of how I figured all this stuff out. So early on, it was really easy to stay concise and keep it within 5 minutes because I just didn't know anything beyond just what I was looking at.
You were trying to stretch it out to do 5 minutes.
Yes, it was actually a battle to get to 5 minutes. And now to keep it under 10 has been a challenge because I know more now. And I've also developed stronger opinions about different translations and Frisch, you've got a really big part in that because early on your channel really took on a lot of translation issues and you would do analysis of translations and different things. And I would watch that kind of stuff. And, I learned from you, I learned from a lot of people, and I learned from my own experience reading through the Bible multiple times a year. So yeah, it's kind of developed into this more than just a nickel's worth now.
Yeah, and that's something I really appreciate. And I actually mentioned that to Layman recently that I think people who talk about translations should also be people who've actually read them, because there's too many people. It's okay if you're like, here's what I think, but I'm not knowledgeable. But a lot of people act as if they're really knowledgeable, and they haven't read these translations and really checked them. They're just basically repeating. They're repeating the promotional lines that go with the translation, and they're those promotional lines. Obviously, there may be some truth to them because the publishers are putting that out there, but it's usually more of a generalization than it is perfectly accurate. And then there's also public perception. So anyway, I'm glad, and we've got people here, Tony, and I'm curious, Tony, you're saying CSB, you like that translation, but you're in England, so I assume you're using the anglicized version, which is interesting. They do have an anglicized edition of the CSB. And then Seeley also says the CSB is a great translation. So we do have some CSB fans for sure. I do think the CSB lovers were a little put off by what Matt Everhard said in that video. I still haven't really watched that video.
Or if
I actually did a response to him a few years ago when he said the CSB wasn't really necessary. And I responded to that specific video. So I guess he still feels the same way.
Yeah. And it was also a response to Tim Wildsmith's video where he did translation tiers, and he snubbed the BSB, and I really think the BSB is a very worthwhile translation. So I just thought I'd jump on that as well, just to take that on. Plus, whenever you put Matthew Everhard and Tim Wildsmith in a thumbnail, it's automatically going to get attention. So why not, right?
There you go. Layman did a video on translations recently.
It worked well for me. It didn't work so well for my co-host, but it's fine.
Everybody was like fine with you, but something about what your co-host said.
Yeah, and the funniest thing is, like, the main guy, like, I've shared this before in this channel, but it's just such a funny story. The main guy that was like leaving the most comments, like, he praised me for my text on like each translation, but yet Gabe, my co-host, pretty much shared all my texts, but yet he singled Gabe out and was like, this dude knows nothing, his opinions are like wrong. And I was like, okay, clearly not a Gabe fan.
Okay. I don't know. That's so anyway, just Tony said he does use the anglicized for his paper Bible, and then he has the regular, well, I call it regular, the American CSB on Logos Bible software. Okay. And then someone's mentioning Seeley actually mentioned the BSB there. So she says, I've completely read through the NASB 95 and the NIV. I've read through a good chunk of the BSB, and CSB will eventually read through both of those cover to. That's good. That, I know, I feel like that's a good thing, and I think Nichols, that's what you've been modeling, reading through all these different translations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm up to 24, I think, right now.
Any ones that you know after reading them you're like wow, I that's actually one that's better than I was expecting, and now it's one I really like, or were there any that were kind of a disappointment?
The BSB was the number one that I thought I was going to read it and I wasn't going to enjoy it. I just kind of made up my mind, but I ended up loving it. It's actually in my top 5 translation rotation now, and really, really like that one. The New Jerusalem version is one that really surprised me with how well I liked it. It's more of a Hebrew roots kind, but it's not in the culty Hebrew roots vein. It's just, it honors Hebrew traditions. Really super enjoyed that one. A couple that were disappointing to me, the ASV I was really built up for the ASB, and I was extremely disappointed with the ASV. In the New Testament, there's several spots where it questions the deity of Jesus in my mind. I made a video on that. The NRSV I expected not to like, and I didn't like it. So that one was no surprise. I'll tell you this, the RSV. I expected that I was going to be super critical of the RSV, and I really enjoyed the RSV. That read through was really nice. I love how they use the these and thous in the poetry, and when deity is being addressed first person, and I love how it flows with the ESV. Which, Frisch, you know that for a very long time the ESV was my favorite translation until they just continued
I
to
feel like
update
that's
because
more of a ghetto translation, though, the ESV.
oh man.
Sorry.
No, I would think I would put the NIV in the ghetto.
I mean,
or maybe the
we're going to throw
NRSV.
that term around.
Yeah. But no, I mean, the NIV has things I don't like about it, but I mean, I'm not educated enough in the original languages to really throw anything in the ghetto. I will give that to Matthew Everhard. He does know the original languages. So, I mean, when he talks, it does have a certain weight. But for me, the CSB is that sweet spot where you get really good readability, but you get traditional English as well. And it doesn't do the gender neutral language. It sticks with more tradition. And I like that. I don't mind gender neutral language, or let me say this, I don't mind gender accurate language. And I think the NRSV has gone a little too far with that. And as a matter of fact, Tim, you did a video on the NRSV where you showed some clips from the translation committee and some of the people that were driving that.
And that was years ago. Yeah.
And it was terrifying. That video was terrifying, the agenda that they had. So yeah, the NRSV for me is just an absolute no-go. The ASV is an absolute no-go. The WEB was okay for me. That was just an okay translation. Didn't love it, didn't hate it. But yeah, I read the Passion Translation, believe it or not, and absolutely could not stand
this keeps coming up. Poor Layman. He's actually having to wash his mouth out now. Just hearing that.
Well, I'm just washing my mouth out because of my wisdom tooth, but yeah, Passion Translation is not a translation.
Did you know that the Passion Translation actually says in the body of the text that the genealogy in Luke is Mary's genealogy? Now, that is quite possible, but to insert that into the text, also when it talks about to awaken the prophetic gift within you awaken the gift that was in you through the laying on of hands, or however it's worded, he actually uses the word activate. As if everyone's a prophet, it just needs to be activated. There's seven mountains theology hidden in the book of Psalms. That is a wackadoodle. Brian Simmons is a wackadoodle, and the folks at Bethel that have endorsed this stuff are wackadoodles.
And you're saying that as a charismatic.
I am saying that as a fully blown, unapologetic Pentecostal. 100%.
Sorry, I used the wrong term. Sorry.
Well, now, Tim, you have something directly in the text, because this is something you kept pushing back on. So there's something in the text that he's inserted.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now, when you say in the text, you're saying it's not like one of the verses, right?
No, it's in the verse.
That's what he's saying. It's in the text.
Yeah. It is called Mary's genealogy in the verse. It's like in the verse supposed to be inspired part. And, not to mention that he visited heaven and almost stole a portion from some chapter out of John that doesn't exist, and how some angel named Passion gave him Hebrew and Greek secrets. And
So that would be Luke what?
The beginning of Luke. In the genealogy.
Yeah.
Luke 3. I think it is Luke 3.
Yeah.
So when you're looking that up, Tim, the other thing, I've said this before, he has directly claimed in an interview that God, and his words, downloaded the original languages into his head for translation purposes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right, Luke 3. It won't be Luke 3. Where is the genealogy? Let me find this. Ancestry of Jesus.
You've read the Bible 80 times. You don't remember the chapter? No, I'm the same way. I can't remember the exact chapter.
Where is the genealogy? I'm in the right chapter.
No, it's not Luke.
Yeah, here it is. It says, Jesus, whom everyone assumed to be Joseph's son,
Can you give me the
chapter 3, verses 23. Start with verse 23. It says, Jesus, whom everyone... Huh?
Luke 3:23.
I want to look at it myself here. So it's
Luke
okay.
3:23.
I think I see it.
You can see it yourself. It's right there. It says, Jesus, whom everyone assumed to be Joseph's son, was about 30 years old when he began his ministry. Here are the names of Mary's ancestors, traced from her father all the way back to Adam.
Now, I'm not defending it, but again, this still in my mind is like not a heretical. It's not.
Oh no, I'm not saying it's heretical. Me a look I'm just saying you're
Layman.
inserting something into the text that is not there.
Well,
I get that. I'm just
I give you a look.
All I'm saying.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So what I'm trying to get at is I'm looking for things that are like actually like really bad theology that are in the text, and I genuinely want to see those things because I'd like to kind of catalog them and actually have like a legitimate list of things that are wrong. I usually get a lot of generic. You're right though, Layman. That is a more specific example of where he adds to the text. But all I'm saying is it is something that if it was in a footnote, people would be like, oh, that's very legitimate, and there's nothing like scary wrong about what that's saying.
Except for the fact that whenever you include it in the verse, you are saying that it is the verbatim words of God.
Yes.
Yes, but we do that to varying degrees with translations. Now, you're right. That's an extreme. That's an extreme.
Because there's no manuscript.
But I could give you examples where even more literal translations might add a word that is actually interpreting a little bit.
Yeah.
And it's not actually the original language.
There's clarifying words in most translations because that's how you have to work from the Greek coming into the English or whatever way around you want. But the issue...
Maybe.
Well, the issue there, though, that's not a clarifying word. That's inserting something wholesale and claiming it's part of the original language. It's not.
Right.
I agree. I think it's problematic because of that. I'm just saying I could
Frisch,
still
just
see.
Admit it. You're an apologist for the Passion Translation.
You're right. I really am. Yeah.
You're going to defend it.
Okay. Anyway, Tony, I just wanted to acknowledge all these translations that he's looked at. Now, I don't know if have you read all like the entire ones of these, or I'm curious as to how much percentage-wise you've read of all these, but that is a lot.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
You talking about the translations that I've said I've read? I've read 100%.
No, I'm actually referencing Tony here, who's read all these. Yeah, gotcha. And I was just asking my audience member here, I'm just curious. He doesn't have to answer, but that's really, really good.
Mm-hmm. And among those, I've read the NIV 84. I've not read the 11, the CSB, the BSB. Yeah, I've read most of these.
And I wanted to bring up this question from my brother there. Literally my brother, by the way. Has Nichols or anyone else checked out the MSB, Majority Standard Bible, now that it's on the YouVersion Bible app yet? I will quickly say I actually did, and when I checked, I was disappointed because I didn't see any of the changes I expected to see. It was still like the critical text, and I don't know if that's because it just hadn't been correctly updated yet, but I think I did see a list that compared the BSB to the MSB, and they were supposed to put those additions in. So the end of the Lord's Prayer should have, "For yours is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever," in Matthew 6. I hope it's there now, but maybe I could check real quick here, or someone else can.
The Majority Standard Bible is available. It's available on PDF.
But he's also
their
saying
website.
it's on the YouVersion, and I'm looking it up now. So let me look up Matthew 6. I wonder if they have. I wonder if they have Mary's genealogy in Luke in the text. No, I'm kidding.
No. The Bible Hubs edition has "For yours is the kingdom, the power, and the glory." One of the best ways to check for the majority tradition is to go to the end of the book of Revelation when it talks about
Wait a second. Wait 1 second. I'm looking on the YouVersion app. And it ends at, lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from the evil one.
That is incorrect. That is not the Majority Standard Bible. I'm looking at it right now.
But I am
No, I'm looking at it on their website. The YouVersion, that is incorrect.
Oh, right. Okay. And that's what I'm trying to say is like, I think YouVersion needs to make sure they get the right text.
Right. Yeah. And at the end, it says in the book of Revelation, chapter 22, verse 14, that they may have the right to the tree of life instead of the book of life. So this is definitely from the majority text tradition. Also, I don't know what the YouVersion says.
Update available, and I'm not seeing. I probably need to go to the Google Play Store and actually update the entire app. And I have a feeling that might fix the problem.
Probably.
So I will do that live while we're talking here. See if
let's go.
I want to give everybody the most updated information. I'm not trying to throw shade, but I feel like
Mike
if you're
Winger kicked us all off YouVersion, so
you're right. While we're on that, I actually wanted to go back to the BSV, and I saw this post, and I wanted to get Nichols and Layman's reactions to this. So they have another. I say another because in one of their other editions, I think it was the history, they had a printing error in the first edition, and now there's a printing error on this one. This is very minor, but it's in the Book of Ruth in the introduction under one of the paragraphs there. I think it's, genre and style. It says Numbers is a historical narrative interspersed with legal and ritual instructions that combines storytelling with census data and laws. And then Daniel, and you're actually someone who knows Daniel quite well, Nichols, right? He did a very good, I feel like, explanation and just kind of an honest addressing of the situation. So maybe because you know him, maybe it's a little too personal for you to get into. But if you want to say anything about this, I'd be interested to hear what you think.
Well, first editions, I have never read a first edition that doesn't have errors, and some of them even have errors within the text. So
you've never read one that doesn't have errors?
I've never read a first edition Bible that does not have mistakes. As a matter of fact, I've read second and third edition Bibles that have mistakes. I've submitted mistakes to Thomas Nelson. I've submitted mistakes to several publishers. I'm submitting mistakes right now to Lexham for their Lexham English Septuagint, and I think it's on its third edition. And
now, would you say there are mistakes that are typically highly noticeable?
They are usually like they'll forget to put a space between a word. They will
right.
The
history one literally had two of the same picture.
Yes,
and this
it
you
actually
have a paragraph.
Had 3 or 4 errors in it.
Yeah. Okay. And this one has like a paragraph that's out of place, which, again, this isn't an introduction. This is not in the Bible text itself.
The good news Go ahead. Sorry, Nichols.
I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that's not going to be the only mistake.
Another thing I was going to say is the good news is if you don't care about those errors, you will get those very cheaply on Humble Lamb's website because they often sell their error printings.
Yeah, I don't know about that. Yeah, they sell seconds.
I have a copy of one. They had an error printing of, I don't know if they do it anymore, but their very first printing of Humble Lamb, I have an error copy. I got it for like £40.
So they have a long tradition.
Well, I'm not claiming they still do it because Nichols is saying they only do seconds now.
No, I meant they have a long edition. They have a long tradition of making sure their first editions have very significant errors.
Well, even like Skylar. And
oh yeah, he's got to bring up Skylar.
Well, I'm Alan, Thomas Nelson. They have some typesetting issues. I believe it's either the Canterbury or the Traveris where they had one of the drop caps that was the wrong letter. In the RSV, they had Comapany instead of company, and there's been several little minor errors, and I think one of them they put the words of Christ in red at the wrong spot, and I mean, it's going to happen. It's going to happen on first editions. It's just going to happen. You want to avoid it. You do everything you can. Even the new The new Holy Bible Reader's Edition from New Rome Press has an error on the box and has an error on the introduction to the New Testament. They misspelled Orthodox. The Orthodox guy spelled Orthodox ox. So, and I've already found several typos in the LES, which is the Old Testament base. I've been submitting them to the publisher. It's the thing is, most of the time, the average person just doesn't know them. Oh
You're
yeah,
right.
and then the Strident has the Philippian 5 header, which there is no Philippians 5.
I'll be right back, guys.
It's commonplace.
I agree. My only, I guess, kind of little caveat to that is not all errors are of the same magnitude.
Of course
and
not.
There's a difference between putting Philippians 5 and something else that might be more noticeable. Now, as to what magnitude this thing is, people might have different opinions, but it is an entire paragraph. I mean, and I should add here, like, Peachtree, who we've actually had the lead of that team on this channel, Chris Hudson, who talked about the simplified King James Version. And so he's a team leader at Peachtree. They do a great job of proofreading. And they were involved in this project. So I know that Humble Lamb tried. But then again, Humble Lamb said that they're actually going to start outsourcing their typesetting partly because it will help with this sort of thing.
Right.
And so clearly
it'll help, but it's not going to eliminate.
Yeah, I mean, no, I agree. I think in general, you're right that first editions often have some error. However, usually that error is really hard to spot. It's like something that's a word that's misspelled or a number that's the wrong number. It's not usually a whole paragraph or a picture.
Yeah. I know the Preacher's Bible put out by Smith and Jones had the wrong introduction on either 1st or 2nd Peter. I can't remember, but it is absolutely commonplace.
And I had a Schuyler Bible. I know other people have. I had a Schuyler Bible that was missing a signature. I had that happen with a Zondervan Bible too. So sometimes it's a signature that's missing, because if they're sewn bound, they have signatures. They have smaller sections of pages that get sewn together, and sometimes it's one of those signatures that's missing, and that's an error. It's an error in the production of it, not in the proofreading, but it's still something that people miss, and then they put it out there, and it's hard. That's got to be hard for a publisher to deal with that.
Yeah. And with this, I mean, it's a bummer, but it's just not the end of the world to have a mistake at the bottom of the introduction.
No.
You'd rather avoid it, obviously, but I mean, over time, to be honest, I don't know if you collect anything. I know you have a nice amount of Bibles, but I don't know if you collect anything, but errors, like error cards in baseball, error coins, those things become like super valuable later on.
All right, so just to give an update on the YouVersion, I don't see a way to update the app. And I don't even know how I would update the translation itself on the app. So I'm going to say that what I have on YouVersion for the Majority Standard Bible doesn't seem accurate yet, but I have a feeling other people might have a different experience. But like you said, you can get the Majority Standard Bible online. Where was that again that you got it?
It's on Bible Hub. It's on their website.
Right. Of course, Bible Hub.
Yeah.
Who is like the producer?
If you go into your text,
he's doing a little tech help here. Thank you.
If you go into your text, then up here, select your translation, tap it.
Okay.
Then do you see that little cloud symbol here?
It's very hard to see on your little screen. Let me. We're testing my eyesight. I just had an eye test.
You see that little cloud symbol whenever you're there?
I think so.
Tap that.
Oh, yeah.
That'll do a download for your translation, if there's one available. If nothing happens, there's no update.
Okay, I think it updated. So let me check and see now if it's got the addition, because I think it's such a. I was like, oh, this will be interesting to see the majority standard text, and then it's like the same as the BSB. I was like, what happened? All right.
Well, keep in mind, the majority standard Bible, Old Testament, is the BSB.
No, I'm talking about. I was checking the New Testament.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, for people that are looking for that, keep that in mind. You don't get anything new until you hit the New Testament, because that's what the majority says.
It has the extra, the ending of the Lord's Prayer. Yours is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. All right, so we know we've got the majority standard. And what was the question though he was asking? Just if we happen to.
Just that anybody had checked it out.
Yeah, it's what you
I
expect.
have not yet.
It's what you expect. It's very much going to read like the BSB, but it's going to have those extra, readings or original readings, depending on your view on that. Mark 16. It's not going to be in brackets. It's going to be in the text. And Lord's Prayer, the pericope of the adulterous woman in the end of John 7. That's going to be there.
And also now you know how to do translation updates.
And
kind of, I actually pressed a different button because I couldn't find what you had. Sorry, but it still worked. It worked. It's fine.
Yeah. Also, I don't believe the comma is in the majority text, if I remember right. So if you're looking for I think it's 1 John 5:7. I don't believe the comma is in the majority text, because it's
I'll
not
look it up
in the
real
majority.
Quick. So 1 John 5, 7, and 8. And it says, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
It doesn't have the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
And for those that don't know how the majority text works, is it takes the majority of Greek manuscripts and whatever has the most repetitions of a certain verse, or whatever has the most witnesses of a certain verse, they include it. And if it does not, they don't. And 1 John 5:7 has virtually no witnesses of its existence when in the main body of the text ever. So that probably is not original. Mark 16, there's a strong argument that that's original, but 1 John 5:7, it's doctrinally accurate, but it is probably not original. It's the equivalent of calling Luke 3 Mary's genealogy, ultimately.
And I'm looking at Mark 16 in the Majority Standard Bible, and it's got under the headings it's got the cross references just like it does for all of the other passages. So it's treating it as fully part of the Bible inspired text.
I would consider Mark 16 original. I would. Now, I know there's a lot that wouldn't, just because there's early church fathers that reference very similar language. And I don't know if you've ever noticed in like some of the early codices, there's a space there where it's almost like the author knew something belonged there, but there's nothing there. It's a blank space. So
I've heard Wes talk about that. Yeah.
Yeah. I believe it's original.
And funny enough, that blank space is just the right amount to actually fit the text in.
Yeah, but it's not there.
Right.
Sorry.
No, but it is the right amount of space.
Yep. I've talked about this before, and I'm cautiously accepting of it, but I just think it should always be supported with other scripture when you're using it.
Yeah, let's talk about that. When dealing with textual variants, what do you do when you are ministering to your congregation or you're reading the word and you notice a verse missing and you find out it's a textual variant? One thing I always do is, number one, is this variant supported? Like, say you're reading from the Textus Receptus or the majority text and the variant's there, and you want to use that as your main text. You can't. So what you do is you go back and say, are there other texts in the scripture that affirm this? Like, I think it's Luke 19:10, where it says Jesus came to seek and save that which is lost, and it's not in the oldest manuscripts, but it's in Matthew. So you go back and you use the text in Matthew, then you can pull in the text from Luke, and you let the people know, hey, this is not in some of your Bibles, but it's supported here, here, and here in the Bible. So I'm pulling this in as an extra account, but to use that as your own, like to defend the Trinity using 1 John 5:7 is a bad practice. You can use the baptism of Christ. You can use multiple references of the Trinity, like in Corinthians, in the end greeting where it says, I think, the love of the Father and something about the Savior and the Holy Spirit. It says it all together. And then you can pull that in and say, hey, this is not in most of your Bibles, but it's definitely relaying a theologically or doctrinally accurate truth. So, yeah, I'm very careful with how I handle textual variants.
Yeah, and I would say they're not all the same. You know, some of them are I think Mark 16 is one that's so extensive. It's just such a long passage, and there's some odd phrasing in there. At least to me as Baptist in background, you know, we're not really into snake handling in our circles, but you know, some churches use that
Just to
text.
clarify, neither are we. Just saying.
Okay.
The only snakes we handle in our church are the ones that are attached to a soundboard.
There you go. Okay. All right. We can accept that.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, whenever you read that passage, though, and you contrast that with the Book of Acts, where Paul gets bit by a serpent and it doesn't affect him,
and
like there's an
all
example
of the things,
showing. Yeah, go ahead.
All the things Jesus talks about, you can correlate with the Book of Acts for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. And I don't think it's saying to intentionally drink poison and intentionally take up snakes. I think it's saying if it happens, that you know, there is the availability that it could not harm you.
Yeah.
Plus, it's not necessarily my position, but there's a lot of people that think that is purely apostolic in nature. That particular promise was only for the apostles.
Well, and there's another interpretation. Y'all ready for this?
No.
Is that snakes are not literal, because Jesus compares demons to scorpions, which are very similar to snakes in the Bible and biblical language.
Yep.
So it's saying demonic forces, that you could take up demonic forces and they will not hurt you. They will not harm you. So I don't know how you handle that with poison, but that's a common Pentecostalism to make it less uncomfortable. But I mean, let's be honest. That is not the only uncomfortable text in the Bible that is not a variant. We go to scriptures that are extremely uncomfortable that are absolutely part of the original, and we could have all kinds of fun with that.
Yeah, well, the thing I would say too, though, but is I don't think that's unique to Pentecostalism, because there's a lot of Reformed authors that also interpret that can be demonic, that points out that the scorpions and all those things do reference demonic forces. So I think that's valid.
Yeah, in our last video where I crashed the party and we got talking about demons and how the Western world really tries to eliminate the supernatural world. That's a whole fascinating topic too.
Yep.
So I just wanted to bring up, Hope Family said, it's good to expose your congregation to the fact that variants exist. Too many Christians don't know how we got the Bible and get tripped up and start getting doubts when some atheist points it out.
Or Muslims.
Yep. Or they're just reading their Bible closely and they see a footnote and they're like, "What?" So, yeah, I think as pastors and teachers, we're doing our congregations a service to make sure we talk about those things. And 100%. I taught the book of Mark recently, and so that kind of gave me the opportunity to really address the issue, because when we get to the ending of Mark, you really have to talk about it.
Right. And like, for example, back to the coma, the ESV, I think, is the only translation. I think. I may not be 100% on this because I've not read all of them, but the ESV does not even footnote the coma. The coma doesn't exist according to the ESV. So I don't know if that's the only translation that does it, but I think it's the only one I've read that does it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta say the ESV. First of all, many editions, or quite a few, have the condensed footnotes. which that's really limited. But even the full footnotes of the ESV, the full translator notes, are much less extensive than other translations. And it's funny because, again, people will put down the CSB. It's like the CSB has really good footnotes, and footnotes are helpful. I'm not saying that your translation completely depends on them, but I think if it definitely is a big piece of the puzzle with how I look at a translation. One of the things I love about the New King James Version, it's got really good footnotes.
I'll say this: the New King James and the Berean Standard Bible, top notch. I think footnotes are not as important as the translation, but they are part. Right. They are part of the translation process. Right. And they give us the information that we need about why the translation took a direction that it took. It also helps us learn how to handle textual variants and so many other things. And we get all the multiple textual sources, even the Old Testament, where you get the Septuagint, you get the Masoretic, you get even sometimes the Samaritan Pentateuch. And I'm getting off in super nerd land here, but it's fascinating what you can learn just by reading the textual footnotes. Aside from a study Bible with commentary, I would rank it like this. You have the text of the Bible, number one. Well, let's say you have the original, number one. The original language is number one. Then you have your translation of the text of the Bible. You have your footnotes, and then you have your referencing system that I would put below that. And then finally, you have your commentary, which is man's opinion. I would put that at the bottom. And I would probably even maybe put the church fathers above commentary and then put commentary below that. But I think all of that is critically important. And one thing that we've never talked about is I've actually read a lot of the church fathers, and I have been pretty astounded with how helpful it's been and how it's not converted me to hello Orthodox Philip to Orthodoxy, and it has not converted me to Catholicism. It has now I will say this: it has shaped my view of communion. It has shaped my view of communion to where I don't hold a traditional Protestant position on communion that it's only symbolic. But there is definitely something that happens during communion, but I don't put it in a whole the substance has changed and it becomes the literal body and blood of Christ.
Like a debate video out there about that somewhere, Layman? I feel like there was a debate about that.
There is, yeah. It's on my channel. Yeah. You and the other Paul.
Sorry. Yeah, sorry, Nichols.
No problem.
Yeah, by the way, just because I want to acknowledge, people are shouting you out here. Nicholsworth, I love your videos. One of a kind on YouTube as far as I've seen. Keep doing the good work. And yeah, you got a shout out online too. Did you hear about these people? Just kind of breaking news. A couple of people climbed the Empire State Building. Did you hear about this? There's a picture that I saw online. This was this was actually posted in the Bible meme group. People really did. There was a couple that really did climb the Empire State Building today, but someone modified the picture and they're giving you a shout out. I think that was Jeremy Sells who posted this on the Bible meme group.
Yeah, I get lots of love from the Bible meme groups.
Memes. You get a lot of memes.
Yep. Yep.
I have gotten some too. What was the one that I think all three of us were in it, maybe. The three Tims.
Yeah, it was the Harry Potter scene where they're in trouble from whoever the person is. And it says, whenever there's trouble in the Bible world, how come it's always you three?
So I got to be careful because if I bring up the specific Bible, Nichols is going to want to talk about it, but he doesn't want you to talk about this, Nichols, because he is getting a Bible that he wants to talk about specifically.
Which does look very nice, by the way.
We could have Nichols come back. We could have Orthodox Philip come on and talk about it, and then later in the conversation, we could bring Nichols on to give his 2 cents. Yeah.
Orthodox Philip.
Yeah, but you're not allowed to talk about it. You're not allowed to talk about it.
I know, but he got it before him, which...
I know. I'm surprised Colton Yarbrough didn't get it first.
Well, yeah.
That's funny. Hey, do you know that Colton Yarbrough got his copy of the Jonathan Edwards Study Bible before Matthew Everhard did?
We know, yeah.
Before Matthew Everhard.
I know.
That is hilarious.
Yeah.
But no, I've had this for a while. I've done a couple videos on it already.
Colton got his.
What's going on, man?
Colton got that Bible you just showed before all the patriarchs in the Eastern Orthodox Church got theirs.
Yeah, he actually got that before the Apostle John got his copy. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's pretty. He got it pretty early.
That's gonna be our meme now going forward. Colton always gets the first copy before whatever.
Hey, Colton's been getting a lot of stuff recently from different Bible publishers.
He's awesome. He's such a great guy. Okay. Some behind the scenes information there for you, Layman, about a Bible in the mail.
Oh, I know. Yeah. We've been in touch. I'm eagerly trying to patiently wait. So.
You getting a rebind, Layman?
Yeah, he's very kindly done me a personal rebind, so it'll be in my colors, which most people know what they are, but I'm not going to say it just yet, so I can see what it looks like myself. But he is also. He can correct me if I'm wrong, because we haven't talked about it in a while, but I'm fairly sure he's also chucking in a Mormon quad for me, which will be useful for witnessing to the old Mormons.
You're getting a rebound Book of Mormon?
The Mormon quad, yeah, all four.
What is that?
He's getting all four. The KJV,
yep.
Pearl of Great Price, Doctrines and Covenants, and the Book of Mormon.
Mm-hmm.
It is really going to be rebound.
Well, I don't know if he's rebinding it, because that would be massive. I think he's just throwing that in. Yeah, quad and some other Mormon stuff he said.
I was going to say,
like
that would crack me up.
Thing, like the quad is chunky, so like rebinding that would be
kind of useless.
Don't know if it would be useless. I just don't think.
Yeah, you would have the nicest edition ever of those.
See, look, volumes. He wouldn't rebind it. I wouldn't blame him.
No, I wouldn't blame him either.
But I'm still very glad he's throwing one in, because we can't get the quad over here anymore, sadly.
I never heard it called that.
Old school Mormon apologists, the Mormons that actually believe their theology, they're the ones that refer to it as the quad.
Yep. And I'm just seeing some comments about the Empire State. Generic dude, I like your name. Climbed the Empire State Building via an elevator or escalator. No, elevator. Elevator. You got it right.
Escalator.
No, escalator would be that'd be a long climb. Yeah, that's funny.
Nichols, yeah, you can reply.
And then Tony said, "Mr. and Mrs. King Kong." Well, they actually did get engaged while they were up there. That's the other funny thing, is on the video, it looks like he actually proposes to her on the platform up there.
The ring?
Which I have to say, that's what people were. That's funny. I have to say, there's something about it that's both ludicrous and yet I don't know why, but it does seem kind of American to me to do something like that. Like, what in the world? Going up on the Empire State Building to propose? But there is something about Americans that can be a little bit ludicrous at times.
Mm-hmm.
Am I wrong on that, Nichols?
No.
Yeah. I don't know why we're stunt people. That's just kind of, we like stunts.
Yeah. The origin of shock jocks.
Is there a presence of serious Mormon apologists? I only ever see appeals to emotion from them. I would say you're one of them.
No.
No. No, you're not. Sorry. I was getting it backwards. I thought he meant
what did Frisch just accuse you of, Layman?
Exactly.
Well, he's getting the quad. He's getting the quad. Rebound.
Philip, check out Jacob Hansen. He is a very good Mormon apologist in the sense that he's a good faith interlocutor, but my only criticism of him is he will often throw his own theology under the bus just to basically criticize your theology. So if you ever watch any of his debates, he will basically just concede, okay, yeah, Mormonism's false. Let's examine your beliefs. So he very rarely is willing to actually defend his own faith. but he's good in the sense that he's not a clip artist or a gotcha guy. Like, he will actually seek to have honest conversation, just sadly rarely about his own faith.
Yeah, there ain't much to say about his own faith. It's wacky.
Pretty much.
What are your guys' thoughts on some? Now, sorry to kind of switch gears a little bit, but it's on the area of apologists, and I was wondering what your thoughts are on like Catholic apologists, specifically like Trent Horn. Like, what's your take on him? Do you feel like he
I like him.
really represents Catholicism, or is he?
That's
I don't know.
hard.
I'd like to hear.
That's hard to say, because Rome would say no single apologist represents them completely. They would also not claim to represent Rome completely. But the one thing I will say about Trent is, again, good faith interlocutor, very, very smart, very knowledgeable. Obviously, I don't think he has the best arguments because we disagree theology-wise, but Trent would be a guy I would have no issue sitting down and having a conversation with.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know of him, to be honest.
Okay.
I don't flow in that circle.
Mm-hmm. Well,
yeah,
if you ever do, check out his podcast, Council of Trent.
That's a great name.
Mm-hmm.
We're big on puns, aren't we, Nichols?
Yes,
like,
we are.
We love when it comes to word plays on our names.
Yep.
So he gets a point for having his channel named after himself and something Catholic. I love it.
But yeah, overall, as a Roman Catholic,
is it spelled council like as in COUNSEL? Council.
Yep. But overall, I would say he is a decent apologist, but part of the reason he wouldn't claim to fully represent Rome, nor would any Catholic apologist, is even within Rome, there's varying beliefs. So, yeah, even their own apologists kind of attack each other.
Yeah. And just to kind of, bring it over to Nichols' world a little bit more, I know you have reviewed Catholic Bibles, Nichols, and you've gotten a portion of an audience there that watches you that are Catholic, or at least they watch some of your videos. Has it shifted? Like, has your relationship to Catholics shifted, would you say, since you've been doing your channel? Like, how are you kind of thinking through all of that? Because aren't you from a Catholic background?
I was raised Catholic, St. Cecilia Church in Louisville, Kentucky. And when I first got out of Catholicism and into Protestantism, you ever heard, I'm sure Orthodox Philip can affirm this, but there's like when there's a catechumen, they actually have something called the rage cage stage, or the rage stage, or the cage stage, I think it is. Yeah.
Well, rage stage is also fair.
Yeah.
That's very fitting.
That's kind of where I was when I first became a Protestant, is I was in that cage stage, and everything with Catholicism was absolutely wicked and evil. And man, I've got a lot of problems with Catholicism, and I've got a lot of problems with Orthodoxy. I have less problems with Orthodoxy than I do Catholicism, but they're
what about Presbyterianism?
Presbyterians, other than the fact that they baptize with a salt shaker, I have no issues with them.
That was very instigative of me to say that. Sorry.
Yeah.
I don't care either way. Like, you could say he hates us and I wouldn't be offended.
Yeah. Although you were offended by the Top of the Morning songs. I could see it in your face.
Yeah, that did offend me, to be fair.
That's different.
But it has softened how I view Catholics. It has not softened my position on Catholicism. It has given me far more compassion toward Catholic people, having the opportunity to interact with them and seeing the sincerity of their faith, and really recognizing that they believe they're the true church. So I don't agree. I do believe the original church was Catholic, because the the creeds affirm that, going all the way back to the Apostles' Creed. But I don't think Catholic and Rome are the same thing.
They're not. Yeah.
So yeah, once
and we
Rome
could call
got
ourselves
involved,
Catholic. We could call ourselves Catholic on some level.
right?
Oh yeah,
because it just means universal historic.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So it's softened me toward Catholics as people. It's actually gotten me to double down on a few positions. I actually made a video called 5 Reasons Why I'm Not Roman Catholic. And there was a guy that's on a channel called Catholic Talk that did a rebuttal. And I just thought it was weak sauce. And, one of my biggest issues is Marian dogma. Another one is transubstantiation. I am more in line with the Orthodox on that, although the Orthodox believe the substance changes too. I don't believe it's necessary for the substance to change. But I do lean into something happens, we just can't quite explain it. I believe that there's literal presence, but we cannot explain it. But I do not believe that the elements or the substance of the grape juice, wine, whatever you use, or matzah or little styrofoam wafers, whatever you use, I don't think that substantially changes. I don't think that becomes Jesus, literally his body and his blood. But I do believe in literal presence. So that's kind of evolved with me over time. And as a Pentecostal, I lead a communion service, or I have one of my ministers lead a communion service every Sunday. We take communion every single Sunday, and that's unusual for a Pentecostal church.
Well, thank you for giving. That's very interesting to hear about. And also comment that I wanted to. Someone brought up Wildsmith because you're one of the 3 Tims that do Bible reviews that we've had videos we've done together. But Seeley said Wildsmith is the outlier among the Tims in regard to his channel name, referencing back to what we were talking about earlier, doing puns with our names. You're right. But also Wildsmith is an outlier in terms of his channel's size. He has grown so much.
Yeah, Tim Wildsmith is super clever with his channel name. It is, I've never seen anything like it. Does anybody know what he calls it? Tim Wildsmith. Yeah. But it works. It worked for him. Over 300,000 subscribers.
Works.
Yeah.
Clearly works.
Yeah.
Maybe I should change my name to Wildsmith.
I thought about it, but I thought it'd be confusing.
He already shares our first name.
Yeah. Well, actually, it's not his first name. His first name is Richard. Yeah.
That's right.
So he's an imposter.
And you didn't always go by Tim.
I went by Scott as a child. I didn't go by Tim until I was an adult. But it is my first name, legitimately.
I feel like, I'm the one who's actually gone by Tim all my life. 3 Tims sounds better than the 4 Tims. What is that talking about?
Yeah, they're having a conversation between themselves.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sorry. That's what happens when I glance over at the comments too late. I want to let these guys know that I'm gonna have to leave in about 20 minutes because I have like a very important phone call later. But
he's become an Eastern Orthodox.
Yes, I have to talk with someone about that. So now that new Bible's coming out, I think it's finally time to switch.
Yep. Just get the Bible and then you'll switch back.
I'll be the only Eastern Orthodox person that holds to a memorialist view of the Lord's Supper, though. Sorry.
I don't think you're making it past the catechumen stage, Tim.
I know, I don't think so.
Yeah.
Nichols would do better than me. Yeah, is there anything you want to bring up, Nichols? Because I want to make sure if there's anything that's like, you want to have your chance to talk about it, you get that chance.
I don't remember exactly if we were going to talk about demonology today or not, but that's probably more than a 20-minute topic.
Well, we could kick it off. We could kick it off. Yeah.
Demons, they exist.
They do. And
there we go. End of discussion. That was great.
Yeah. Well, I want to ask Layman a question.
Go for it.
All right, Layman, what is a demon?
Oh, no. This sounds like a setup.
Here we go, y'all.
No, it's not a setup. It's one of those things. I don't know if I have a fixed position on what exactly they are, because obviously you've got the view that the demons are the disembodied spirits of the Nephilim. Mm-hmm. Then you also just have the view that demons are just fallen angels that are just corrupted. I don't know if I have an official position on that, although I think I would maybe lean towards the Nephilim theory. I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's my lean as well. You can't have a fixed doctrinal position on what demons are, because the Bible does not explain it. You have to use history, logical processes, and for me, it's like if the sons of God in Genesis chapter 6 were indeed supernatural beings, which seems to be so when you consider Job chapter 1, and when you consider other mentions of sons of God in the Old Testament, it always seems to be referring to supernatural beings, not angels, by the way. Angels are a different class.
Yeah.
So if you have these supernatural beings that were somehow able to mate with human women, and they produced these Nephilim, which were not quite human, but not quite supernatural being, then what becomes of their spirit when they die? I think that's a solid question.
Yeah.
Now, again, you have to hold the position that in Genesis 6, we're talking about sons of God being supernatural beings. If you hold that they're human, then no problem. I think that's difficult to interpret that as humans.
I think the text makes no sense if they're humans. It just doesn't add up. And why these offspring become mighty men that are also known as giants, it doesn't add up. Like, the weakest argument I have ever heard is people saying, well, the angels are not given to marriage. That just means it's not their that's not what God has appointed for the angels.
Right.
And angels, by the way, is a very generic thing. There are ranks of spiritual beings.
I want to hear Nichols explain this a little bit more in detail, because you said that they're not angels, but when a lot of people think of demons, they would correlate them with fallen angels.
Correct.
And so, are you saying that's not what you think? That they're not fallen angels?
The think is the operative word here, not know. Okay, I'm not trying to establish doctrine here. I am not trying to give an official position. But I do not think that demons are fallen angels. I believe they're disembodied Nephilim. I think.
Okay.
I emphasize that strongly.
What does that mean? Explain what you mean by Nephilim, and what were they originally?
What were demons originally?
No, the Nephilim, and then why did they become the demons?
What were Nephilim originally? Nephilim was some sort of offspring between supernatural beings and human women. That were some sort of hybrid.
What were those supernatural beings? That's what I'm trying to really understand.
The Bible calls them giants.
Yeah. Mighty men of old, men of renown.
Yep.
Those were purely supernatural.
No, they were human and supernatural.
Yeah, they're a hybrid. Okay. They're a hybrid.
But
that's why whenever they die,
you're saying God made human supernatural beings?
No. That's the opposite of what we're saying.
We're saying that the sons of God were supernatural beings, and they
were not
intercourse.
Human.
They were not human.
So what were they then?
They were sons of God. Well, then you have to get into the whole heavenly
Elohim.
Government rank thing.
Yeah, they're Elohim. That's why I was trying to say earlier, whenever you say the phrase, we in the Western world have this really, there are angels and there are demons, but that's kind of very broad, because when you say angel, I am technically an angel. If I go and take the gospel to someone else, I am a messenger of God. That's what that term means in Angelos, or in the Hebrew, malak, messenger.
Right.
We categorize every heavenly being as being an angel, but that's not the case, because they're seraphim, they're cherubim, they're. If you
you could say there's different types of angels. That would be one way to define
there are different types of messengers, 100%, but there are there are throne guardians. There are the biblical worldview is a lot more comprehensive than what we give it in the West. So the sons of God theory in the Old Testament is these sons of God. Now, do we know what they were? Were they seraph? Were they cherubim? Whatever. We don't know. We're just told they're sons of God. They leave their fixed abode. They come down and they mate with human women, which they were not meant to do. That creates
the reason I'm asking all this is, and I appreciate it, but the reason I'm asking is because I don't think that, like, the way I was thinking about it when you asked the question, other than maybe clarifying terminology a little bit, I have definitely heard that the sons of God are spiritual beings. Now, they're often called angels, but I think it gets a little bit into how you define angel, which is what I'm hearing here. But I think a lot of people, like you said, perhaps they oversimplify it for sure. But I think if they've studied angelology at all, they know there are some different variations on these spiritual beings.
Yeah.
That's why I was curious, like, what do you actually think those original spiritual beings before? So, but what I'm saying is, were they always bad? Were did they make a choice to do something bad? Which to me starts to fit into that category of there's some sort of a fallen spiritual being.
Yes. Yes, the sons of God that would mate with the human women obviously took a fall, but I want to address Tony here, because he's definitively saying Nephilim were the offspring of the godly sons of Seth and the ungodly daughters of Cain. But I want to point something out here in Jude. It says in Jude 5, there's only one chapter. It says, "And therefore I put you in remembrance, though you once knew this, how that the Lord, having saved the people out of the land of Egypt, afterward destroyed them that believed not, and the angels, which kept not their first estate, but left their own habitation, he hath reserved in everlasting chains unto darkness until the great judgment of the great day." And then he lists Sodom and Gomorrah as cities about them in like manner. So we were talking about sexual sin here. And giving themselves over to fornication, going after strange flesh, are set forth in his example, suffering the vengeance of eternal life. There's also a mention in Peter about the ark and the angels. It's very difficult to deny that the sons of God were supernatural beings, because first of all, you have the language of the Old Testament.
By the way, Tony, I'm sorry, I just want to make sure Tony is represented here. He says that's what most FM would hold to. The Methodists, what's the Methodist?
Gotcha.
Free Methodist.
Free Methodist. Thank you. And then I think he's saying he leans more towards Heiser's view, which I think is more what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Right. Well, and ultimately, at least we were able to address that anyhow, whether it was Tony's position or not.
Right.
But in the heavens, there's rank. You have God as the uncreated Elohim. And then you have these other Elohim, these sons of God that were created. And then you have like seraphim and cherubim, who are throne guardians. And then you have several different ranks of Malachim or Malach, which are angels. Do you know that John the Baptist was called an angelos? He was the messenger. And here's a hot take. Y'all ready for this? The pastors in the book of Revelation that are being addressed, I believe, are human.
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
I don't believe he's talking about angels. I think he's talking about the messenger of the church of Ephesus. I believe he's talking to human leaders.
Each of our local churches have an angel that watches over us.
Well, you see, the funny thing is, I actually had a debate with a guy on this, and I actually changed his mind. It makes no sense if you hold that the angel is a created spiritual being, because why is the Lord Jesus writing a letter to these spiritual beings? He could simply utter a command to them. The letter has been written to human pastors. Because the context is Jesus stands in the midst of the church and he walks among them, but he also holds the pastors and the church in his hands, meaning he is the sovereign Lord of the church. But where Nichols brings up a good point is he mentioned the passage about strange flesh. And that's what I was trying to say earlier before we had to go to one of the comments. People that try and do this thing where they're like, oh, well, it says the angels are not given to marriage. Yeah, that means God has not appointed them to marriage. It doesn't mean they're not capable of reproduction, right? So whenever people say this idea, oh, well, the angels wouldn't be able to mate with human women, says who? You're misinterpreting that passage where you say that the angels are not given to marriage. That's why the text, as Nichols pointed out, says they left their proper abode. Doesn't necessarily mean their abode as in where they lived. It means they left their office and they did something unnatural that they were not meant to do. That's why whenever you go back to Genesis 6, if you were to read that as the godly sons of Seth versus the ungodly daughters of Cain, you have to explain why, not just in Scripture, but the outside worldview. So all these other books that Scripture alludes to, and we see at the time period that people were also, like Enoch. Enoch talks about the Watchers and how the Watchers corrupted man's knowledge. They allude to the fact that these fallen spiritual, let's just call them angels right now, just for the sake of argument, that they corrupted the daughters of men. How did they corrupt them? Through sexual intercourse. And then they created these half-hybrid beings. You would have to explain that if that is human upon human, why is the worldview so convinced that not only were these massive giants where, they had beds that were, X amount of feet long, all these types of things. Goliath was often talked about as having 6 fingers. And by the way, Goliath is not necessarily a name. Goliath may have been a title. And it explains why in Philistine literature that you hear of multiple Goliaths, because Goliath may have actually been either a champion's title or it may have been a ruling title. That's a side note. But again, like Nicholas said, none of us are trying to establish fixed doctrine here. We're just pointing out that the worldview more does support these hybrid beings more than it would human upon human flesh.
And another interesting thing about all of this is it was Second Temple era when we really got to the place to where demons meant bad guys, angels meant good guys. That's where that came from. And that's how we've gotten, even in the New Testament language, where it says God did not spare the angels that sinned. But we know that it wasn't the angels that sinned in Genesis chapter 6. It was the sons of God. It was the Ben Elohim, not the Malachim. And interesting thing about supernatural beings is because they have full revelation and full knowledge, they have no opportunity to repent. In fact, it says in Hebrews 2:16, it says, it is not angels that God helps, but he helps the offspring of Abraham. So imagine what would happen to a human if they could not repent. What will happen to a supernatural being who had full knowledge and can't repent? To me, they would get darker and darker and darker and more evil, just like humans would if they don't repent. So that's why those particular angels or sons of God had to be restrained in a prison, because how much evil could they wreak on the world? And here's another thing. What are those guys they released from the bottomless pit in Revelation that's so bad? Could it be these guys?
Could be.
Yeah, kind of wild to think about it.
I wanted to make sure we read this one from Orthodox Philip. The fathers teach that the demons are fallen angels and the children of women and fallen angels, so I go with that. And then even I think Joel here said the angel view of Genesis chapter 6 was a prevalent view from the Israelite conquest of Canaan until the 3rd or 4th century AD. So it's not like the things you guys are talking about are new novel ideas. These are actually
they're very old.
The older ideas, really.
They are. It's just because, like we've kind of been harping on both now and the previous time we were on as well. So we've had 2 very short sessions. Hopefully, we could maybe do a big long video on this, because I would really like to do that. But the reason why this offends so many Western ideas or minds today is we have so separated ourselves. We don't mean to do it, but we really do so separate ourselves from a possibility of supernatural things. Like we sort of agree in a sense, okay, yeah, like there's God, there's angels, but if you're confronted with something in Scripture that genuinely seems to demand a supernatural worldview, like for example, angels mating with humans, we're so quick to go, oh no, that makes me squirm. That clearly has to be, just godly people with ungodly people. Why? Because it's easier for us to explain.
Well, and also, Frisch, you mentioned something interesting is it was the prevalent worldview until after the 3rd century. And you know what else happened around the 3rd century? The Council of Nicene, where the church was starting to be more westernized. And also, it's when a lot of people consider the canon of the Bible closed, and that's when cessationism became very prominent. And I think sometimes you can throw the baby out with the bathwater. So let's just say that you are a cessationist and you believe that the gifts of the Spirit do not continue today. So be it, but you can't also throw out the supernatural world with it. And I think part of the reason the Western world reacts so harshly to the supernatural world is because the Pentecostals so actively embrace it. So, like, if the Pentecostals embrace it, it has to be crazy. It's just like Roman Catholicism. There are some things in Catholicism that are good, that are useful. But Protestants will be like, well, if Catholics do it, then it's wrong all the way across the board. And I think that is kind of what's happening as well. If Pentecostals embrace something supernatural, then we just have to throw it all out, or we're agreeing with the Pentecostals. We can't agree with the dirty Pentecostals because they're just wackadoodles. And I agree. A lot of Pentecostals are wackadoodles. I agree. I can say that. I can pick on my own people. But yeah, the overreaction to the supernatural has just been pretty fascinating in this whole thing.
Yeah. And it's the same too. Like, that's this conversation Tim and I often have. So I'm Presbyterian, but I really do lean more high church. I would prefer a high church Presbyterian. We consider ourselves Catholic, so we look at a lot of things that Rome has, and we go, we actually agree with that, and we formulate things in the same way, but we would say it differently, or we would draw a different conclusion, but we agree on like how things work or whatever like that. But what we often will get as a criticism most often from evangelicalism, so not evangelicals, but evangelicalism, so like real like mega church type places, they will look at Protestants like me and go, oh, you're just Roman Catholic light. And it's like, no. So you do, that's what I say all the time. I think there is good found in each denomination, but there is equally bad found in each denomination. And like you said, you can't throw the baby out with the bathwater. So with this view of Genesis 6, this view is actually spread across, as you can see, we've got an Eastern Orthodox that leans that way. You've got Roman Catholics that lean that way. I know Baptists that lean this way. I know Presbyterians. I know Wesleyans. This view is pretty prominent. The only reason why it sounds so harsh nowadays to our modern ears is it's not taught anymore. That's the downside.
Right. Well, and we alluded to this in our last video where I crashed the party. There is a lot more supernatural language in the Bible than the English lets onto. You really have to dig for it. I mentioned last time Isaiah 65:11, where it talks about fortune and destiny. And Orthodox Philip, you'll appreciate this. The LES, the Lexham English Septuagint, actually says demons and fortune, because it's emphasizing that we're talking about evil spirits here. And yeah, there's just so much to this topic to unwrap and get our heads around, because there's a council in heaven that has meetings with God and to make decisions. We see that in Job chapter 1. We see that in Psalm 82. We see that, I think it's in 2 Kings 15-ish, somewhere around there, where this council meets and decides on the fate of Ahab. And one of the spirits says, I'll be a lying spirit in the mouth of their prophets. And God says, go do it and you will succeed. So God doesn't make decisions in a vacuum. He is surrounded by these, I would call them sons of God. He's surrounded by this council. I think the Bible also sometimes calls them watchers. And
yeah, there's at least one place that calls them watchers.
Yeah, and Daniel.
Yeah.
If you use the Apocrypha, there's a few more.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's this topic is so underserved in the American church that I believe it really does deserve its own dedicated video.
That's why I think we should do one. But here's another curveball I want to throw people, just as like a little teaser for a big video. There are also multiple Satans. There is the Satan, but there are multiple Satans.
Well, the word Satan in the Old Testament just means adversary. And the first mention, y'all ready for this? The first mention of Satan in the Bible refers to God. It says that the Lord was an adversary to Naaman regarding him about to disobey him with Balak. And that word, it says that God was a Satan. Now, is God Satan? The Satan? Of course not. But he was in opposition to Balaam at that time.
Yeah.
man, we weren't getting in this deep waters today, were we?
Right.
We weren't ready
Just
for
like
this.
we talked about before, and we're going to have to wrap up here, but like we talked about before, the word God in English, God, often translates Elohim, which can even refer to other spiritual beings, not just the creator God, right?
And
men, right? Yeah. So we're going to have to wrap up, unfortunately, because of me. But that did get another topic going that we're going to have to continue on with.
Yeah.
So we will get that on the schedule, and I just want to thank our audience first of all for great interactions and even good questions today. I want to thank Tim Nichols coming on again and giving his thoughts and insights. It's been fun. And and as always, Layman too. And I said I was going to show a picture. I didn't pull it up, but I apologize. He has a book on the Trinity. So I can get that up if you want to say anything else about that book.
Oh, he's got the book.
You have.
You
I think he's got it right there.
You're just going to grab it.
Yeah. He has a copy right on hand there. There we go.
There we go. So
perfect.
We're climbing very high now in the Amazon rankings, which is nice. So we're still very low on reviews. I know not everyone has finished reading the book yet, but if you have read the book, please do leave a review because it actually helps us climb higher in the Amazon rankings. So,
Yep.
And by the way,
that book is available. Yep.
Yeah, sorry, I was just going to say one quick note. This is titled a primer for a reason. This is not an in-depth book on the Trinity. It's to give you a quick overview so you won't fall into heresy, but its main attention is dealing with the so-called logical problem of the Trinity that the Muslims often raise. So if you want to learn how to refute that, buy the book.
That's right. And you can get it on Amazon. That's if you want to get the hard copies of it.
And if you go to my Fourth Wall store, you can get an ebook copy. So
that's right. And then also on the Fourth Wall store is the
your merch.
The merch, do ye manly, John Wycliffe's phrase in his Bible from 1 Corinthians 16:13, and that specific line of merchandise, the Do Ye Manly line, is going to be helping to support a mission trip to Ecuador later this year that our church is taking.
The upload.
Oh yeah, the new ones, which are a little modified, but they still have Do Ye Manly on them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, thanks guys for doing manly today with us here.
Wait a minute. I think this is offensive. This is offensive in England. It just means peace in America. Is this offensive in England too?
No.
I'm just saying peace out, goodbye.
The other way around has become colloquially somewhat of a homosexual meaning. But yeah, originally Churchill used it as a sign of victory, but he got the V the wrong way around because the other way around signifies something else.
That's going to be the thumbnail right there. My reaction to that.
I know. Yeah. and then he does crack over one of our
right.
I don't know. Yeah.
Crack dealers and homosexuals. What has this podcast become?
Hey,
I don't know.
Put that in the title and it'll get views.
That's true. All right. Well, goodbye, everybody. We'll see you next time. Have a good week.